Welcome back to ZeN TV. Coming straight to you, Damon. A very special welcome back to you, of course.
Thank you.
Because tell us a little bit about your story. We know you've gone through the mill a bit. Tell us more.
Yeah, I went to I race bikes now. I've stopped boxing and I race with a vets team, push bike, and we go away every sort of year training camp pre-season to train in the sun. And I came off my bike and I ended up fracturing my pelvis, shattering my elbow, fracturing my rib, and fracturing my scapula in 3 places.
How long ago?
It would be about 3 weeks ago that I was in intensive care.
Wow.
They had complications. I had a hematoma in my pelvis, which is a collection of blood clots. And they needed to control that before they operated on anything else, which could then cause to some issues. So 1 minute I'm sort of alright, next minute I'm in intensive care, and I kind of don't really know how I got there. So.
3 weeks ago, all of that, and now you're sat here today.
Yeah.
Grace of God.
Grace of God's a good thing. I'm still broken. I'm a bit slowed down a bit. I mean, I've had to sort of slow my life down a little bit and try and heal and repair. But yeah, I'm blessed and I'm very thankful. And good to be here as well.
So is anything else happening? Any more operations or?
No, I'm under a very very decent doctor in Derby, a South African gentleman who has been assigned as a specialist of the shoulder. My only worry was my pelvis is going to heal naturally. My ribs have had broken ribs before and they're not a problem.
For you?
Well, my elbows have been, I've had a plate put into my elbow that has been sort of intricately weaved into my sort of tricep and stuff, so that's going to be taken out after a year, so that's on its way healing. But my problem was my shoulder, because I'm a sportsman as well. If I had any problems, my shoulder would be the thing. It's quite an intricate movement, your shoulder, so I was kind of worried about whether I needed to have more surgery. And I saw the guy last week, and I go again to see them sort of weekly or second weekly, and he said I'm healing fine and they shouldn't see a problem. God willing, there's no complications. So yeah, I'm thankful. So I just need to just take my time and just heal properly and not rush around. And
So as you say, as a sportsman, if it's not too personal, how does that affect you sort of psychologically?
Yeah, well, I think interestingly enough, I think people have always continually asked me, thinking how I live my life, thinking would it affect my mentality in terms of my recovery? Am I looking to get back to training? And I'll be honest with you, just to be able to sleep normally and not be on painkillers, and to be able to straighten my arm and function without being in pain would be a blessing right now. So I kind of think you do what you can in the time that you can do it. So when I'm full on, I'm full on. Yeah. And when I can't, I just let go. So I kind of feel blessed and thankful, because I feel I've had the wisdom and the foresight and the understanding to understand that I'm not in control of my life. I'm thankful that my faith is strong enough for me to understand that I'm hanging on to something bigger than me, and I feel peaceful enough to just let my body heal, in the time that it will heal. It's healing quickly, thank God. However, it will take as long as it takes, and I think resigning myself almost instantaneously that was going to be the case. I remember sitting by the roadside giving thanks to God, thinking to myself, I know it's bad, because my elbow was hanging off.
Wow.
And what people didn't realise, my elbow was hanging off, and my shoulder, it was like I couldn't lift anything. And then I had problems in my pelvis, and what people don't realise was I was by a roadside, so I called a cab. The cab came and got me. I then went back in the cab, dropped my bike off to be fixed at the bike shop.
Joking.
No, you did.
I went back to the hotel, got out all my kit, had a shower, put everything kit on, went back to the reception, asked for the doctor, went to the doctor's, walked while I shuffled to the doctor's. The doctor sat me down, injected me, and then sent me off to another hospital 60 miles away, which I got another cab. And then I walked into the hospital, said I think I've got a problem, and obviously, and they let me sat there for 8 hours while they did various x-rays and stuff, and no one knew where I was. But the problem was no one knew where I was, and I only had a phone, and my battery was dying. And I was thinking, I'm cut off here, no one knows. My family didn't know I was here, so I called my man, G, and began to strategise how to sort of just inform people. And then I got admitted because they told me I was a bit mangled. But that's what happened.
Damon, you have got some serious pain threshold.
Superman.
Proper Superman. Yeah. Well, a very special welcome.
Yeah, it's good.
Welcome back
Thank
to
you.
And
It's
thank
good
you
to
for
be
joining us
Good to be home.
today. We're going to go to a story from Chevalier, and then we'll come back to you with yours.
I was going to say it's definitely not ticklish then, is it?
That's not the story, but
yeah, talk about Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Prince Harry. So he was in the Telegraph this week talking about bringing back national service, which was interesting.
And as a former army man yourself, do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm going to talk about the word national first of all, because for some reason when people say national service, this straight away they think about the forces.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what's in a nation? You know, it's not just the army, is it? There's a lot of things. So I'm for bringing back national service, but when I say national service, I mean serving the nation. So you don't just have to maybe go in the army as a young person. Because in Germany, they have national service. But in Germany, you can have a choice. You can go in the armed services or you can go to your local hospital and work.
Oh, wow.
So I like that. But
Yeah.
when I'm thinking about what should happen in the UK, well, does it have to be just armed forces? Could you work in a charity shop? You know, could you work in an old person's home? Could you do something for the nation for a year? Why does it have to be military? We don't just fight wars, do we? You know, community needs people. Hospitals need people. So yeah, bring back national service, but let that serve the nation. Let's have people working in schools, in nurseries. Do something for your nation.
What do you think about the fact, though, Prince Harry saying it affected his life and it was good for him, but his experience of the national service or the army, would it be different to the local boy from Derby, the local guy from Nottingham?
Oh, of course. I mean, he's the poster boy, first of all, for the army. You know, I have to be careful what I say now because I don't want him grabbing me as soon as I get out.
Well, his brother just freely used his helicopters when he was courting his wife, just to go and travel with his wife, and that was part of the army. So I don't think the average Joe Bloggs who's in the army can say, "Oh, I'm just gonna borrow a helicopter to go see my girlfriend."
Yeah. I mean, he did a lot of charity work from what I saw. He went to Afghanistan, and there was various pictures of him, you know, standing there with big guns and stuff. But let's be honest, there's nobody going to order around Prince Harry in the army and tell him what to do. He was miles away from the front line. He wasn't, you know. So let's be honest, it's a facade. It's a facade.
G, let me ask you your opinion on that.
No, listen. Two things. You know, one, I agree with every word this young man says, and two, don't bring him back here again. He makes me look unintelligent. I'm not happy about that. Get rid of it. You know, I was listening to the quote on the news when it says that Harry said it changed his life type thing.
Because he had such a terrible life.
Yes, he
previous.
did. Yeah.
Shocking upbringing.
Chasing corgis,
Awful.
On the estates.
Yeah, his estate.
Yes.
Exactly.
It was a terrible upbringing, and I can see how it's helped him out of his terrible upbringing.
100%.
Shocking
Yeah.
life.
It kept him away from big ears. So clearly, Noddy was happy. Let's examine facts, right? When Charles or Harry or any of those people decide to go out and they want to buy anything, they don't buy anything.
No.
But if they choose to, they just show. Charles shows a picture of his mum. Harry shows a picture of his grandma, and it's called currency. We show pictures of our beloved parents. People say, you look just like them, that's £17.50, please. So it doesn't make any scrap of difference, you show pictures of your mum. So he's in a very privileged background and life. So he can't, when he turns around and says that, you know, it's made him a better person, this is the same man that went to a fancy dress party.
Dressed as a Nazi.
As a Nazi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So clearly a lot of uniforms the army's brought to him, but no sense, no differentiation between, you know, what is sensitive and what is an insensitive act. I don't dislike him. I
actually quite like Prince Harry too.
But you know, the truth of the matter is, right, he hasn't really done anything that it really equips him to really live in the real world.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so a comment from him about this being a good idea, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but why do we hang off every word of the royal family, regardless of their background or not? You know, wasn't it? Which one did it? It's a knockout. One of the princes.
Did they?
Was it
Yeah.
Edward?
Andrew?
No.
Who was it?
The bald-headed one.
They're all
Oh,
bald.
Edward.
Edward.
It's Edward, that's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
It's Edward, yeah.
Edward, right? When we did it, it's a royal. It's a knockout.
man.
Come on, this is nonsense. So they've obviously got too much free time on their hands.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't really fight in real wars. They're not on the front line.
No,
you
they're
know?
not.
They're not bullet fodder. You know, what's that advert for that game? Was it Bomb Beach or Boom Beach? Come with a plan or go in defeat. If you ever get a chance, Google it and have a look. It's fantastic. But the point I'm making is, in that game, it's about being blown up on the beach. And the royal family, if they join the armed forces, they stand no chance of being blown up. Whereas our children, if they join the armed forces, we're encouraged, if you know, go to the front, keep walking, keep going. Yes, yeah, exactly. So I think to us, I like what he has to say, but it really has no real bearing in real life. You know?
Well, a story that was in the Independent this week is after a 10-year battle, memos finally revealed the extent of the royal meddling. Now that's your story.
Yeah.
Can you give us a bit more?
Yeah, it's actually been a 10-year battle. This is the notorious Black Spider letters. Yeah, and that refers to the way Prince Charles writes.
Serious?
So he writes like a black spider. Yeah,
Okay,
apparently, yeah.
any old spider, but a black one.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been a 10-year long legal battle, which has cost the taxpayer £400,000 to disclose 23 letters. Right. It's a Guardian that's been chasing these for under the Freedom of Information Act, and it's been opposed by the previous government. No surprises there, because Tony Blair was very closely linked with Prince Charles, and Prince Charles wrote quite a few letters to Tony Blair telling him about influences right the way from complementary medicine, which he highly believes in, herbal medicine, which I think is a good thing. But then and through to how soldiers are treated in Iraq, right the way to how the Patagonian toothfish is going to become extinct. So
Yeah, I knew that.
yeah. So the Labour government refused to release these documents, which they could have quite easily done, save the taxpayer nearly £500,000.
But who cares though? What was the relevance of this?
The relevance of this is the influence of the monarchy meddling.
Yeah. So he has a view
because
on these
they're not
things.
supposed to do that. At the end of the day,
And he's going to be future king.
they want the future king to be like the Queen, apparently.
Yeah. Don't meddle.
So don't meddle with stuff, and basically, the thing with laws is basically that's for the politicians to decide, and the Act of Parliament are signed off by the Queen at the end. But she has no influence. She's purely there as a figure. I don't see the relevance of the royal family. A lot of people say
I'm with you. They only matter if they've got a say anyway.
That's right.
I mean, if you don't recognise who they are, they're just a bunch of people who are just fortunes of a few quid, aren't they?
If I become Prime Minister, and I'm aiming for that, the first thing that I would do, one of my policies, would be to turn Buckingham Palace into
A theme
a
park.
bed and breakfast
Yeah, I
for
like
asylum seekers.
Why not?
I 100%.
They've got 57 bedrooms.
There you are.
And they can be probably divided by 4
Yes.
because it goes a week.
You see, bro? And I think, you know, because I remember a few years ago, I love the Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody, great song. You know,
That was a good one she did.
she's fantastic. Look weird with a moustache.
Yeah, she looked weird. Yeah.
She did. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
But then,
That was
like,
actually quite funny too.
but it's the truth, you know. But you know, she did talk a few years ago during one Christmas Day's talk about embracing what she called
Multiculturalism?
multiculturalism, and I thought, Liz,
Oh, your first name.
we're like that, bro.
Yeah.
We're like that. And I says, Liz, come on, open up the doors. You know what I mean? Get them gates open and let the old people from all these different countries that die on boats in the sea, let them live in your place. Just overnight, one night. And then talk about multiculturalism.
That's right.
Talk about sharing your heart with those who have less. So the trouble you got with royalty and people who, great talkers, talk. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We want to see action.
Yeah.
And they're in a position to act.
Yeah.
Act.
Yes.
You see? So do what they say as opposed to do nothing.
See, one thing that startled me was when I read the finishing line of one of the letters that Blair sent back to Charles after, saying, okay, we'll have a look at some of these issues. I have the honour to remain your Royal Highness's most humble and obedient servant. So it just says what
Lick.
Yeah,
Slur.
that's right. So
If you
you know
remember spitting
he's
images.
trying to seal his position when he leaves the party.
Gentlemen, real talk here on ZeN TV. Don't forget to watch part 3.